Got a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Well, we're back with you once again live on another Johnny Torch live broadcast number 227. Yes, that's right, and we're with Torch News Roundup number 270. Welcome to the show. Could that opening get any longer? I've just gone out of my mind. What am I doing putting so many promos and clips in front of the show? That's a full 3 minutes practically. I was going to get rid of the, because that theme song was originally for the Johnny Torch reviews. I was going to drop that one in favor of our new opening ad for Bullets Bourbon. That's a good way to start the show, just playing the ad. But I'm such a traditionalist. I'm so used to hearing that Ride of the Valkyries. And it has some personal meaning to me, too. And I'm loath to drop it for some reason. So maybe eventually. But welcome to the show. And it's been a while. You know, speaking of reviews, haven't been gone all that long. We did do a recorded video reviewing Cobra Kai Season 5. If you haven't seen that, and I'm pretty sure you haven't because it has no views, go on and check that out if you're a fan of Cobra Kai and you want to, let me know what you think about the show. Did you feel the way I did? It's pretty good show. I mean, the season was pretty good. I don't think it's the best season like some people are saying, but really top notch. I mean, they just keep kicking it higher and higher into overdrive. There's really no way. It's like they can do no wrong really with that show. But if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. No spoilers here, but it's a spoiler review. So be warned. If you haven't seen the show, I definitely would recommend seeing the season before you watch any spoiler reviews. Of course, I think if you're interested in the season, you probably would have already watched it by now. It's been, 2 weeks? But, yeah, so a couple of things to take care of business here before we start talking about the show, the topics on the show today. A lot of stuff going on. Gee, I finally got the episode, or I should say issue 10, back from the printer. Let me see if I can get this cover up for all of you fine folks to see. And I'm really excited about this. It is so exciting when you see all that work pay off and you just see the issue in your hand. You can read it and flip through it. It's just a feeling like none other. And I'm sure you guys will love this issue because this is our big 10th anniversary issue, celebrating 10 big years in Bullets Bourbon Comics. I started this little endeavor in 2012, but it's been a lifetime work. I of course, started drawing this when I was 13, 14 years old, came up with the characters, came up with the villains and the concepts and everything, refined them over the years. That's why I always joke I'm not a Johnny-come-lately. I've been working on this for several years now. Not going to give away how old I am, but several years, a couple of decades. And it's been a labor of love, and the work proves it. I mean, I think it shows that I pour over these pages like it's a newborn infant. I mean, I make sure that it is completely cared for and up to standards. I did everything I could over the years. Like I said, I think this was a topic I was talking about on Twitter earlier today. There doesn't seem to be as much push for the independent comic creator. I see slowly but surely more and more people are treating it like, well, you have to be this good. And the thing is I understand where the sentiment is coming from. For example, using myself, I didn't just wake up one day and decide to do comics. Like I said, I've been doing this since I was 14 years old. The first pages that I ever drew look horrible by comparison. The intent was there, and the passion will take you only so far. You've got to practice, and that's what I always tell everybody that ever comes to me for advice when I'm at a con or something. I see a lot of young hopefuls asking, what can I do? My only advice is to sit there and do it. Make sure you sit there every day and draw. There's some study involved. You can look at books. To me, I think the best thing to do is to basically just do it and look at your heroes. That's what I did. You look at Kirby and Ramita and see what they were doing, and not necessarily try to copy them, but try to understand what makes, a comic book. And so I think that there's too many people, though, that think that there's some kind of magic formula. There's some kind of mystery that you're inducted into some kind of, special order or something. You are now a professional comic book creator, and you can take your place among the pantheon of greats. It's not really like that. There's only a few that ever reach king tier, god level. There's only a few. Lee and Kirby during their Fantastic Four run, Claremont and Cockrum come to mind. Of course, some of them had multiple things, like, Claremont and John Byrne was really good. Also, what Lee was doing with Ditko / Ramita, that whole run. But not too many people can really just, leap into that kind of ethos. You know what I mean? There's got to come a time when you realize everybody is basically on a level playing field. Art is subjective. I say this when it comes to reviewing movies. I say this when it comes to comics. I say this all over. Art is subjective. None of us are ready. None of us are probably ever going to, and there's exceptions, but none of us are probably ever going to reach the level of a Stan Lee and a Jack Kirby and a Ditko. It's few and far between that you're ever going to be put on the level of those as peers. So we all have to kind of be realistic about it. I mean, if you've been in comics like professionally and worked for the big two for 10 years, for 20 years, that might give you some kind of cred, and you're reliable in that sense. But, it really doesn't put you any higher up than the guy who's been doing himself for 10 years, 20 years, my case, 10 years, doing it professionally. Because all that really is required is that the art comes through, that you're trying to tell a story. And like I said, God's given me the gift of wanting to be a storyteller. And that's whole my prerogative is to tell a good story. Now, I do it with full knowledge of the limitations I have. And I think, of course, we always all try to get better to some respect. But, you know, I'm a cartoonist. I've said this countless times. I'm never going to draw like Jim Lee. And that's all right with me because I'm a fan of cartoony artwork. So some people may see what I do and think it's useless, it's worthless, or whatever. That's fine. If you like a Jim Lee style comic book, that's probably more up your alley. You feel free to go looking for the Jim Lee style, the McFarlane style, something like that. But it doesn't negate the worth of another creator who does a cartoony style. It's the same thing with manga. As a matter of fact, a lot of people love manga. Manga is basically a bridge between the cartoony style and the, overly rendered comic book style. Again, sort of as the Jim Lee and the McFarland and those types. And, again, some manga is good. I'm not a huge fan of it. But again, there's something for every taste. In my point of view, at least, I say get out there and do it. Now, I started Bullets Bourbon Comics clearly before I was ready. But it comes to a certain point where you have to say, let the rubber hit the road. At a certain point, you've got to take your shot and get it out there in the public. And I put it out there 3 to 5 years, I think, before I was ready. And the learning curve grew for me. At first, I didn't know anything about digital coloring. Then I didn't know anything about digital lettering. And then basically, and now I'm starting to sort of digitally ink, doing special effects. As in this cover, there's a rain effect. In some cases, there's a snow effect, like the last issue. I learned how to use the lettering, and as you can see in the police barricade line there. I had to learn these things, and you learn things every step of the way, and you never stop learning. So that's the way we should all be. We should all try to never stop learning. We should never really tell the other guy, you're not ready yet, and you're not going to be probably ever ready because you're really not that talented. Art is subjective. If you don't like what this guy's doing, I'll be honest, I probably like him 10 times more than what that other big name guy is doing. And, sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes there's a guy that's, probably a few years away and he thinks he's ready for the big time, but, you got to let him get in on the ground floor. And like I said, someday I would like to be able to be in the position to help the indie creator because I know it's a thankless job. It certainly is for me. There isn't a lot of accolades for the indie comic creator, especially someone like me that insists on doing it all themselves, that insists on doing it their own way. I would rather, I've said this too a million times, but I'd rather fail on my own than owe my success to somebody else because I allowed them to change something that I wouldn't necessarily do. And I feel very strongly about that. And so, for better, for worse, you're getting purely from me this work of art. All right, so that's my rant to start off the show. And we'll talk briefly here about the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, issue 10, our big 10th anniversary issue. Now, I want to do a show just talking about the book, so I'm not going to go into the details and the specifics about the story. I'm going to do that once it's available on Indie Planet, which is where you can get all my books. Check the link in the description below. But I do want to make a bit of a point about this because now that it's out for print and I have a limited amount of copies in my possession, I can give you a autographed copy, and it's going to be a limited number. But if you check the link in the description below, I just paused for a minute because now a downpour is going on outside my window right here. So if you want to know why I was distracted, that's it. But I've got a limited number here. I'll autograph it for you. You just go to the link in the description below for my website. You can email me there. You could find the link for my Twitter page. DM me. We'll work something out. As you can see, also something I've done recently here was I fixed up the bottom crawl because I felt like it was a little bit too messy. I didn't specify which issues were in what numerical order, so that's fixed up. But as you can see, the new issue is priced at $4. Like I said, that's basically the bare minimum of what I can afford to sell it for. I basically make $1.25, sometimes $1.50, depending on the size of the issue. But I make them all $4. So if you're getting a 16-page issue like this most recent one, it's going to be $4. You get a 24-page issue, it's going to be $4. I'm trying not to play with it and, make it a headache for everyone. The thing is, this is kind of different than your average model because I get a book out every 6 months. So, you know, one might think 16 pages for $4, is that really, the best deal you can give? Well, yeah, it is, because you're basically only getting one issue for 6 months. So for 6 months worth of entertainment, I don't think $4 is too much to ask. And I put a lot into this book. Now, this is something that's really interesting to me because my mother even says when I showed her the book, because I just got it recently, she says there's a lot of dialogue in these stories, in these issues. You put an awful lot of dialogue, and I know a lot of people don't like that. I do. So when I say a 16-page issue, you're still getting a lot of story. I think a lot of problems I have with comics today, particularly indie comics, a lot of them, and this goes for the professional the big two as well. But you get a comic, and let's say it's 24 pages. There's 4 pages of story. There's 20 pages of explosions and people falling out of windows or whatever. That's fine, but I can get done with that book in 3 minutes. I'm not the kind of person that's going to pore over every image and be like, well, I wonder what kind of technique they used there to draw the falling glass or something. I mean, I just want to be told a story, and I want to, feel like I'm immersing myself in the story. So when you have an issue like this, that's the first issue in a 3-issue arc, it's going to set up the story, and you're going to have a lot of dialogue and so on and so forth. Now, there's going to be action scenes further on into the story, but sometimes that's what's needed to tell a story. Otherwise, all you have is special effects, explosions, and, to me, I'd rather get my money's worth out of a book that's 16 pages that has a pretty involving storyline with humor and, suspense and so forth, rather than just get a book that's 20 pages of splash pages and fight scenes and making it as big as possible and taking up as much room as possible. For me, that's a cheat. That's really a cheat. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody in this, but again, give me a story. That's what I'm more interested in. Give me a story. I want to be enveloped in this world, whatever it is. Like I said, it could be semi-comical, like Bullets Bourbon's world, where it's like equal parts comedy and action and suspense. It's a fine balancing act, I suppose, where you want to make sure there's enough action in each book, but again, in this case especially, there's a mystery that goes on that it needs to build up. So, there's no explosive gunfight in this issue. You know what I mean? If you look at the last story arc we did, there was like action scenes in each issue. So I think you have to be temper your expectations about how you create a comic and not just throw, like I said, endless splash pages in. Give me a story. That's what's more interesting. All right, so if you want this, once again, if you want this 10th anniversary of the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, where one of my favorite villains, our main nemesis, Pencil Neck, is let out of prison. Bullets has to uncover the mystery of what is going to happen in the next couple of issues. But in this issue, we focus on Pencil Neck losing his powers. Is he going to restore his powers? Is he going to regain his powers? Of course, his incredible powers to erase his enemies. And will Bullets, in fact, be the victim of this? We will soon find out in the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, issue number 10, big issue number 10. Get the let out. All right, so Like I said, check the link in the description below. If you are interested, you can email me, DM me, do whatever you got to do, but let's get it done. All right, this is something interesting that I just realized. Now, this was the first time I've ever looked in the brand area of StreamYard, and I did the countdown because I see people doing that, the countdown, and that's cute. I don't know that it's really needed, but it's cute. But now they're actually giving you that like Muzak crap. I thought that was something you had to pay for, but now you've got like Muzak. Let's hear some of this Muzak here. I want to see if maybe I want to use some of this for my show. All right, this is called acoustic cinema, acoustic cinematic. Sounds like some Genesis or something from the 70s. It's nice. It's very soothing, very soothing. All right, this next one's called Dance Pop. Get that techno vibe, right? Dance Pop. Oh, well. All right, this next one's called Daydreaming. Kind of chill, kind of mellow. I think I could deal with it in the background. All right. Let's see, Feeding the Ducks. This next one is called. It's interesting. Music to feed ducks by. This seems like the most uneventful Johnny Torch Live broadcast. We're listening to Muzak. That's where we've gone to. But I haven't done a show in a while, so we're gonna pad this one a little bit. I don't have a whole lot to talk about because the D23 news, honestly, it's old news now. I don't think anybody even cares. So nobody's gonna watch this anyway. What's it? All right, this next one is called Into Space. This is interesting. The feeling. Get the groove. Oh! Yeah, I like it. That's cool. With the feeling. Get the beatbox going. Yeah, that's good. I better not sing anymore, though. All right, let's see. Lofi? Is that how you pronounce this? Lofi? Lofi? Or is it Lofi? It sounds like a video game background, like from, I don't know, like, what's that, like Kingdom Hearts or something? It's alright. Alright, this one's called Night Driving. Night driving is if you had the radio on and you're trying not to fall asleep. This one sounds familiar. I think Peter Samedi used this one. That's probably why I remember it. It's got a good beat, though. Alright, now let's try this one. This is rock. That's what it's all about. It's what we live for. It's good as far as generic rock music goes. Yeah, it's not bad. You know what I would probably use this for is if I had to, like, stop the action and, like, answer the phone or something. I'd probably put that on for you as, like, you know, when you're on wait and you're waiting for a call or something, you know, call waiting. That's probably what I would use that for, I think. I don't think I need it for, like, background music. All right, so let's get to the first story here. D23. Oh, yes. What a time it was. Let's see. We've got some information here about let's take care of the Star Wars stuff first. All right. This was This was the first image that was shown of Jude Law in Star Wars Skeleton Crew. No real intel was shared, though Jon Favreau confirmed Spider-Man No Way Home director John Watts is going to be instrumental in bringing the series, which is already shooting, to the screen. All right, so again, I don't know what is that all about. I really didn't read anything about Skeleton Crew. I don't know what this is about. This doesn't have anything to do with the clones, I guess. That's kind of what I thought it was. Skeleton Crew, like it was the last few clone troopers trying to fulfill their role in the galaxy. I don't know. You see those, I don't know what they call those microphone robots. That's what was in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. So yeah, very interesting. I like Jude Law. I think he'll certainly make for a interesting protagonist. I think he was really screwed from Captain Marvel. He really, you know, didn't get his due in the MCU. Very disappointed in that. All right, Ahsoka. We've got some news about Ahsoka. There was no trailer for Ahsoka, but some stills were shown to those in attendance that offer a glimpse to what to expect from the highly anticipated Disney Plus series. Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka Tano in Jedi mode in this image. Apparently, Dave Filoni is carrying over the same aesthetic from Star Wars Rebels for the live-action sequel series. On the Friday of last week, news broke, not this week, but last week, you know what I mean now, because this is old news. News broke that Eamon Esfandi will play Ezra Bridger in Ahsoka, though there was no mention of him or who is set to play as Grand Admiral Thrawn. So I guess they're confirming that he's in it. Yeah, I seen him. I seen the image of the guy that's playing Ezra. Looks all right. I mean, looks kind of like a grown-up Ezra. But yeah, I should have got that image. But yeah, Lucasfilm isn't quite ready to show much from this one. Uh, Fans of Star Wars Celebration got a brief teaser earlier this year, which included a look at Sabine, played by Natasha Liu Bordizio. So yeah, interesting. I'm willing to check it out. I'm not the biggest, I mean, Star Wars is it's kind of, I don't know how to put it. I mean, it's hard to get excited. Let's put it that way, because I mean, I liked Kenobi, and that's, I went against the grain on that one by saying Kenobi was good. Not great, but good. And it's kind of hard to keep up the enthusiasm for these projects, though. Like, I'm really only hoping to see something progress in the story of Luke, young Luke, youngish Luke. I don't know what to expect from this. Of course, we got Andor coming up in about a week. I'll be seeing that. Again, I don't know really what to think about that. A lot of people are acting like it's not going to be quite like anything we've ever seen in Star Wars. Doesn't really bode too well. But we'll see. Like I said, I always take a wait and see approach. I mean, I'm not going to just dump on these shows. I'll give them a chance, and hopefully we'll see what's going on. This is the Indiana Jones 5. These are images from Indiana Jones 5. This is not particularly easy to see, but this was the only place where I could see all the images at one place. It looks like there's some kind of temple on the right side here or something, kind of evoking the Inca temple or whatever that was in the first Raiders. And then we've got a I don't know, some kind of a I don't know what this is, some kind of theater or something. It says hotel on it. I guess it's a hotel. I believe this is supposed to take place in Cuba. This looks like it could be Shanghai or something. Kind of a bus slash motorcycle chase. We've got images that look like Tote from Raiders and Marion, but these are apparently Mads Mikkelsen and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. So again, very interesting teases here. Let's see the copy. Indy 5 displayed costumes for the returning Harrison Ford and characters played by Matt Mickelson and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Concept art has been put on display depicting what looks like a number of key moments from the highly anticipated sequel. Well, I'm anticipating it highly. I don't know about many other people. Along with an action-packed chase scene, we can see Indy visiting some exotic locales and exploring another tomb. Rumor has it, of course, this is only rumor, the movie will be set in 1969 and somehow tie into the first Apollo moon landing. Based on set photos, we already know that we'll get to see Indy both in his prime and as a slightly older adventurer. Hopefully a teaser will be released by Disney soon. Indiana Jones 5 is set to be released June 30th, 2023. Yeah, Disney doesn't seem to be in a hurry to release trailers and stuff anymore. I don't know what it is. I think it's because they don't think that I don't think they think that people are not going to see these films. If that that is like the poorest of grammar, but I don't think that they think that people won't see these films. They don't have to show you much of anything. The draw is Harrison Ford, and everybody wants to see Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones again. And by all accounts, he was very moved by announcing that this was his last go around as Indiana Jones, which I think we all pretty much knew. I think he'll be 80 next year. Oh no, he's 80 now, right? And so it's kind of it's kind of likely this is the last adventure. But again, I don't know. They say that Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, I think that's supposed to be Marcus's granddaughter or something. I'm not sure. All right, so let's take a look here now at our next story. Well, anyway, that's, I'm excited for this. I know that people are not particularly excited about this. I know this is going to be another Kenobi situation where people are ready to pounce on it with a knife and fork and just tear it to pieces. And I know it's not going to be as good as, the original three. I liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but it was clearly the weakest in the saga so far. Apparently, they said that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg had input to the movie. James Mangold, I guess, getting their blessing and asking questions of them, which is, I think, something that George Lucas expected of them during the Star Wars sequel trilogy. But apparently, James Mangold is a little more pliable in that area to actually want to hear what they have to say. And of course, I think with Harrison Ford on board, I think Harrison's going to take a hands-on approach to this. I don't think he wants this to be another, what happened to Mark Hamill in The Last Jedi. You could say what you want about Mark Hamill. I feel bad for the guy. I don't think he deserved to be put through that as Luke Skywalker. It's really a shame. All right, so next up, let's talk about this is probably the most interesting thing that came out of D23 for me. We got the trailer for Secret Invasion. Now, it's kind of hard to believe we haven't had a Nick Fury solo project at any time up till now. Now, this is designed to scratch that itch. I like the idea. The trailer looks very good. It looks very promising. It feels to me very Winter Soldier-ish. They're apparently going for a spy thriller. Now, the thing that confuses me is exactly when did Nick Fury become supplanted with a Skrull agent? Because when we seen him in Captain Marvel, he was taken up into the spaceship and I guess apparently was being replaced. Now, Secret Invasion in the comics was a thing where there was a multitude of characters being replaced by Skrulls. In Captain Marvel, the Skrulls are a benevolent race that are kind of just trying to make their way out from under the thumb of the Kree Empire. So again, I don't really know where any of this is going. Is the Nick Fury that we've all known the real Nick Fury this whole time. It seems kind of strange to think that the Winter Soldier Nick Fury, especially the one that was like faked his death, was that a Skrull? I don't know. That's kind of the mystery here that we got to find out. All right, so we'll look at the copy here. Let's see. The comic book version of the story was an epic event pitting Earth's mightiest heroes against Skrull shapeshifters in an all-out war. This take on the blockbuster adventure is every bit a spy espionage thriller. That's not a bad thing, though, as the Disney Plus series once again looks like something new for the MCU. In the trailer, it's made clear that no one can be trusted, and while the show's characters aren't identified, that A-list cast gets the chance to shine. Interestingly, the Secret Invasion preview kicks off with Nick Fury returning to Earth and ends with what might be an imposter of the former S.H.I.E.L.D. director arriving on the planet. In related news, seeing as Rhodey also appears to have a big role in the Secret Invasion, Marvel Studios has once again confirmed that Armor Wars is on the way. First announced at the Disney Investor Day presentation at the end of 2020, it appeared to fall by the wayside after the multiverse saga started taking shape. It's definitely still coming, though, and we're guessing it'll pick up not only with the fallout from Secret Invasion, but Ironheart as well. So, yeah, we see Rhodey in it. Of course, we see Emilia Clarke, right? Emilia Clarke. We get Colby Smulders back finally. I've been dying to see Maria Hill again, one of my favorites. Talos, the Skrull guy from Captain Marvel. Very interesting. Again, I'm looking forward to this. I think this is one of the few TV shows, one of the few MCU shows that seems to be on the right track. They've been kind of hit or miss. I think people are kind of overly critical. When you look at it, I mean, how many of the MCU shows were flat out awful? I mean, I liked WandaVision. I liked Loki a lot. Hawkeye was okay. It was mid. Moon Knight was okay. I would say it was a little bit better than mid. Maybe it was, kind of in that gray area between mid and very good. She-Hulk's not great. What else is there? That's about it. Well, Ms. Marvel, I didn't even see. So maybe they're on a bad streak right now. But the fact is, they're not really completely bottom the barrel entertainment. It's just that it seems like they peaked with Loki and they've been kind of on a downward spiral since then. Like I said, Moon Knight being pretty good. Then you got Hawkeye, which is kind of mid. And then, this might be the needed shot in the arm to get them back into the good graces of fans. All right, so let me know what you think about that. Are you excited about Secret Invasion? All right, now this is one I'm not really excited about at all. This is not a series. I think this is the Halloween special, I believe. I seen the trailer for this. I did not follow up on it because, quite honestly, I'm not really interested in it. I don't got I don't got it ready. I'll get the clip while I get the image. Take a look at this. It's not letting me share it. Okay, hopefully that worked out better than it appeared here. I don't know what's going on, but that's kind of the state of my life. All right, so if I can get this image up here, it would be wonderful. It would be so spectacular. I would just love it. No, they're not going to let me show this image. For some reason, I can't find it, and it's not showing up. So we'll just talk briefly about Werewolf by Night. There really wasn't much to show of the werewolf anyway, so I don't suppose that really you are missing anything by not seeing this kind of tacky looking show. It's kind of looks like they're trying to do a schlocky throwback to the 40s monster movies, which I love the 40s monster movies, but Werewolf by Night was a legitimate character in the comics. I think throwing him away as some kind of, again, I don't know, a joke character. I don't know what this is all about. Let's see. We've been hearing rumblings that Werewolf by Night will be a departure from the norm for Marvel Studios, and the first trailer and poster for the Halloween special definitely point to it being unlike anything ever seen in the MCU. The zany and actually creepy sneak peek is presented in black and white and looks bonkers. It stops short of showing us what Werewolf by Night will actually look like, but we do get to see Man-Thing. Not the giant-sized Man-Thing, just the Man-Thing. There have been rumors that the character might be a big part of this special presentation, and he looks awesome. Tonally, Werewolf by Night is vastly different to Moon Knight and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. For example, it actually looks like a horror movie. It obviously won't be R-rated, but looks legitimately scary and probably won't be something kids will be watching. It arrives on Disney Plus October 7th. Again, I don't know. I don't really feel for this. This doesn't seem to do anything for me because I was a big fan of Werewolf by Night. Well, all right, I won't say big fan, but as a kid, I had several issues of the comic, and I liked the idea because I've always liked the Wolfman. He's my favorite Universal character, my favorite Universal monster. And that they had something like that in Marvel was fun for me. But again, if they're just going to make it some kind of like chintzy little schlocky special that they're never really going to come back to this character, I don't know. I don't see it. I'm not really excited by it. All right, so let me know what you think. Do you actually look forward to Werewolf by Night? I don't know. To me, I don't really like what I'm seeing. Let's see. Next up, we have also announced at D23. We've got Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is on the way. Thunderbolts will deliver justice like lightning when they make their MCU debut, July 26th, 2024. Can you believe that we're already talking about like 2024? Good heavens. First, look at the heroes and villains. Well, they're mostly anti-heroes who will assemble as part of the team. From left to right, we have Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. That's actually her in this? I didn't even know. I thought she was supposed to be some kind of bigwig in, was it Sword? I don't even know if S.H.I.E.L.D. exists anymore. Ghost, played by Hannah John Kamen, which, if you remember her from Ant-Man the Wasp, she's all right. I didn't think she was too bad. Red Guardian, David Harbour. Yeah, he's good for a laugh. Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh. This is where they're putting our new Black Widow in a villains cast here. Bucky Barnes, played by Sebastian Stan. He's a legit hero, though, isn't he? All these other guys are like, well, I don't know. I mean, these people, I guess, such as Yelena and Bucky, I think the government thinks they're villains, so maybe that's the reason why they're getting stuck with this. U.S. Agent, yeah, I forget where he was, but again, I think they recruited him, Sword, or whoever did. And Taskmaster, oh, wait a minute, U.S. Agent played by Wyatt Russell, and Taskmaster played by Olga Kolienko, which, again, that's not Taskmaster. Just isn't. No Abomination and no Baron Zemo, which is surprising. But then again, that might be exactly who they're facing. I'm thinking they're probably going to be fighting the Masters of Evil or one of those incarnations of a villain super group team up. No spoilers for She-Hulk, but Abomination has showed up there, and they really do need to work at redeeming that character. But again, I don't want to go too far on that. No details on who Thunderbolts will face. We also have no idea what brings the team together. However, Jake Schreier will direct the movie from a screenplay by Black Widow scribe Eric Pearson. Yeah. Thunderbolts is sort of like the MCU's Suicide Squad. So I'm guessing it's going to be something like that. It's just going to be like different personalities playing off each other, and exactly how that's going to work out. I'm happy for. It looks like they got 3 Black Widow alumni in this, so I guess that's their sort of their Black Widow sequel, and we get Bucky and U.S. Agent, sort of the tying up loose ends of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I said again, Ghost. I really liked her character. I don't know what they're going to do with her here, but very interesting. I'm interested by it. Hopefully, it'll be good. All right, this was something that really interested me. Now, I don't know how excited to get about this, and maybe you will feel differently, because the world of the Incredible Hulk hasn't been that great. They finally brought back Abomination. Like I said, that was nothing to write home about. Now they're bringing back the leader, whom we've last seen in the Incredible Hulk, the same way we didn't see Abomination for a good dozen years, and then he came back in Shang-Chi for a cameo. Now we're getting the leader back. The leader will be the villain of the upcoming Captain America New World Order. Incredible Hulk star Tim Blake Nelson has officially joined the movie's cast, reprising his role as the leader. Now, we didn't actually get to see him as the leader. His brain started to swell, but we didn't get his actual big green head in the film. I really hope he gets the mustache, at least the mustache. Come on, give us the mustache. And I hope they don't give us the big round brain with the veins and everything. Give us the tall, sleek version. That's the best. That's the best leader look. The classic look in the comics. It was also confirmed that Shira Haas is playing Israeli superheroine Sabra, while Carl Lumbly will reprise his Falcon and Winter Soldier role as Isaiah Bradley. Danny Ramirez is also coming back from the Disney Plus series, and was mentioned that the actor, like the character's comic book counterpart, will suit up as the Falcon. Oh, joy of joys. I don't know. To be honest with you, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was so bad. It had some good action, I'll give it that, but the story was so bad that I really can't see a continuation of it. The only way I want to see this movie is really to see what they do with the leader, because I'm a big Hulk fan. Now, I'm really hoping that they bring the Hulk into this. But again, no spoilers for She-Hulk. He's kind of got his own thing going on right now. I don't know if that's going to come to play with the leader. I mean, I really hope so. I don't really want to see Captain America defeat the leader, but I guess time will tell. In other casting news, we also learned that Ki-Hu Kwan will play a TVA agent in Loki Season 2. That's Short Round and Data. While Vincent D'Onofrio will return as the Kingpin, eye patch and all, in Echo. Eye patch, really? That was it in terms of new casting news, although we do now know that Randall Park will reprise the role of Jimmy Woo in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Captain America New World Order is directed by Julius Ona, from a script penned by Dallin Moosin and Malcolm Spellman. It arrives in theaters May 3rd, 2024. You excited about that? You like the idea of the leader coming back finally after 15 years or so? I wish it was in a Hulk movie. I honestly do, because the Hulk was my favorite character, my favorite MCU character. I they just haven't done right by my boy. I don't know why and what it'll take, but uh, and finally, to wrap up the D23 news, let's see. Daredevil. It was announced not long ago. Daredevil Born Again was a new 18-episode series coming to Disney Plus. We've got some interview material here with Charlie Cox, and we'll talk about that. Charlie Cox said that the Man Without Fear will show up in She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which I think we all know at this point, even though that episode hasn't aired yet. Can we expect Daredevil's own series to be similarly wacky? Cox was quoted as saying, "I don't think that would work. Not over the course of our entire season. Not with this character. I don't think it's necessarily truthful enough to the source material for it to really work. There's plenty of comics, Daredevil comics. There's plenty of runs where there is levity. There's lightheartedness. There's fun. And I think with 18 episodes, you've got time to do a little of both." He was asked in a separate interview if fans can expect Daredevil Born Again to be based on the comic book story arc of the same name by Frank Miller. "Great question," Cox claimed. "I don't know. I don't think it means we're going to tell the Frank Miller story of Born Again in the comics. I don't think it means that. I think it means that we made the show, it ended, and now we're making another show. It's a perfect title. My feeling is based on the title Born Again. I think that the sense is that it is a new beginning. It is going to be different. It is going to be totally different. It is going to be new stories and new ideas. It is a season 1. It is not a season 4. So it is a whole new thing, which I think is the way to go. If you're going to do it again, do it differently." All right, now, again, this makes me very happy. This makes me really joyous. Because while I like the cast, I like Charlie Cox. I think he's great as Matt Murdock / Daredevil. I don't like the way they portrayed Daredevil. There was not enough action. He was barely in the costume. The thing was so talky and dry and boring. It only got by because people are like bloodthirsty, for one thing. We want to see the Kingpin taking people's heads off with a car door. Wow, that's something to hang your hat on. You can still have a violent Kingpin without, and then of course they get, it's people that are like watching, I guess, again, I haven't watched these shows. I don't really watch too much TV that's not connected to the comic books. But I mean, I guess shows like Breaking Bad and The Sopranos and all these shows are like extra violent, very talky. It's basically just somebody trying to one up the other, and when it all comes down to it, they have a showdown. That's what I'm guessing anyway. And that kind of model translated over to Netflix well, so that when they did Daredevil, they did it that way. Now, that didn't impress me as someone who wants to see the larger-than-life characters, the larger-than-life action. We didn't see any of that, really. I mean, Daredevil did not swing around the way he should be on his billy club. No impressive effects. He had some good fight scenes, maybe moderately good. Even that, I kind of felt like it wasn't anything we couldn't find in Arrow, for example. We didn't see the radar sense at all. It was just, I don't know, it was so underwhelming. And I think it really goes down to being the most overrated show ever. Because everybody will still put this in their top 10 favorite superhero shows or whatever. To me, it just didn't have it. It didn't have that X factor. And then when they did season 2, the Punisher was brought in, and I thought he was great. I really liked John Berenthal's Punisher. I think, like I said many times, if you take the first 4 episodes of season 2 Daredevil, you've got a movie. Just cut it a little, trim it, some of the stuff that really wasn't needed. You've got a good 3-hour movie there. Just release that, and you've got your Daredevil movie. Season 3 was promising with the imposter, and of course that's going to turn out to be Bullseye, which I guess they're going to do their own take on Bullseye now. Kingpin getting out of prison and all that. It was good, and we had the backstory of Matt a little bit. It was good, but it was not great, and that's what the whole thing about this show is to me. It's good, it's not great. I want to see, this is what I want to see in Daredevil Born Again. I want to see Daredevil doing all kinds of crazy stunts. I want him to live up to that name, Daredevil. I want him to jump off buildings. Again, I think the Ben Affleck film has got it all over on this show on action. Jumping off buildings, using the billy club to swing on a flagpole or something. I want to see action scenes where he's flying through the air from one building to another. Like, Spider-Man-esque is what Daredevil is really. He's athletic and agile. There's just no excuse for not seeing that. I want to see the radar sense in full effect. I want to be able to see what Daredevil sees at certain times. I want there to be a good focus on the supporting characters, of course. I hope Deborah Ann Wall comes back. The guy that played Foggy was okay. I thought he was good. D'Onofrio's already back, but they could also bring back the guy that was going to play Bullseye and actually make him Bullseye. I definitely want to see Bullseye in a costume for the first time, because heaven knows we've gone how many incarnations of Daredevil without getting Bullseye in a costume. I mean, I definitely want to see Bullseye in a costume at this point. And, there's ways of doing it. I guess they don't want to give him the white boots or something. I mean, honestly, as long as he just has the black costume with the Bullseye symbol at his head, that'd be great. Again, what else? I mean, they don't have to adapt a certain storyline. I didn't like the origin, like the father in this. It didn't seem to me. He did not seem like battling Jack Murdock. You know what I mean? If they're gonna redo the origin, that would be cool. But yeah, really, just it didn't work for me. The original series, and if they're gonna start over from scratch, get in on that level, get in on the ground up. Again, I'm not a big fan of lawyer shows. I mean, I don't want them to get bogged down in doing a lawyer show. It doesn't necessarily have to be too funny, but again, there should be some whimsy. I don't like things being too dark and grim. And seeing as how this is Disney Plus, I don't think it's going to get too dark and grim, so that's always a positive. So yeah, that's my feeling for this. I'm really looking forward to this. This is hopefully going to be the Daredevil project I always wanted, because we've already got two great actors in Cox and D'Onofrio. We know Disney's got the budget. They can do some pretty cool stuff. It's not going to be like the other show where there's just talking 45 minutes and then one tiny action scene. I'm just looking forward to it and hoping that it's going to be the Daredevil project that I always dreamed of. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What are your feelings on Daredevil? And going forward, what do you want to see in Daredevil Born Again? All right, and our final story of the evening, the final story we have for tonight, we've got Superman and Lois getting a new son. Yes, a new son of the son of Jor-El. And this falls hard on the heels of the news that the original Jonathan Kent actor, Jordan Ellis was going to leave the role for an undetermined reason. Now, we sort of, spun this as a couple of things. Some people saying that maybe he did not want to take the jab, and I applaud him for that. But in Vancouver, where they're shooting the show, it's very strict, and you probably will not be able to keep your job if you've got to commute there. And, that's a possible scenario. The other scenario was that they're probably going to turn Jonathan Kent gay, like in the comics. And although Jordan Elsis had said multiple times that that's not going to be the case, this is its own thing. It's not going to take a page from the comics. It's different already that there's two sons that are, vying for the mantle of Superman next. And apparently Jonathan is not the one with powers. But I think that could be a more legitimate reason. I think that, he probably didn't sign up thinking he was going to have to kiss a dude. And if that's where they're going with this, which is what I think they're doing, I'll lay odds right now. I'll lay you whatever odds you want that they're going to turn Jonathan gay, because that's what they do. The CW has the penchant for having at least 70% of the characters be gay. So I think that's going to happen. That probably is why he decided to leave, because, of course, in the comics, Jonathan wasn't gay up until, this big to-do that they did recently. And, Jordan was cast about a year and a half to 2 years before that was all in the news. Let's see. The role of Jonathan Kent has been recast. Deadline reports that Australian actor Michael Bishop will take over as the son of Clark Kent and Lois Lane for the upcoming third season of the show. The up-and-coming actor recently made his American film debut, playing the lead role of DJ Maz in Disney Channel's original movie Spin. His other credits include Australian TV series Grace Beside Me, Swinging Safari, and short film Shelter, Skin Like Bark, Detention, Pet Rock Hunter, and Gatherer, and Indiana. Tyler Hoechlin, Elizabeth Tulloch, Alex Garfin, Eric Valdez as Kyle Cushing, Indy Navarrete as Sarah Cushing, Wool Parks as John Henry Irons, Taylor Buck as Natalie Lane Irons, Sophia Hamisk as Chrissy Beppo, Dylan Walsh as Sam Lane, and Emmanuel Chikiri as Lana Lang Cushing will all be back for season 3, which is scheduled to begin shooting later this month. They got a kid that looks just like Alex Garfin, the Jordan Kent actor. So it does kind of feel like they're playing twins now, because they do look so incredibly similar. But I don't know. I really liked, like I said before, when I heard the news that he was leaving the show, I really liked Elsis, and sad to see him go. Sorry that this was the case. But what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Superman and Lois, what do you think about it? I'm really enjoying Stargirl right now, and I think Superman and Lois needs a shot of the whimsy and a little less angst. A little more whimsy like Stargirl, a little less angst, I think would probably make the show go a lot better. Superman is traditionally a fun and exciting character, not necessarily the most dramatic, dour kind of family man I would imagine him to be. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and that's about it. That's all the news that's fit for today. Going to try to do another show for you next week. I know it's kind of few and far between, but we're going to try to get on a regular pattern here. Wanted to do a show yesterday, but of course, President Trump was on, and that's kind of, I don't want to compete with the president. And of course, the games are on today, which makes it difficult because I am missing the late afternoon game. But I do it all for you. I do it all for the fans. And make sure you remember to check out the link in the description below. Check out the Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. Our big 10th anniversary edition. We're going to do a show where we talk all about the story, talk more about it. If you want to talk about the comic, just let me know anytime, and we'll do a show together talking about the comic, because that is my pride and joy. And like I said, it's been a passion project for more than half my life. It's really been what I feel God called me to use whatever talents he has given me. They are used in the purpose of being a storyteller. And it's something that I'm quite proud of in the right sense of the word. Of course, I mean, I give all credit and glory to God for imbuing me with the talent and drive to make these stories. So, once again, check out the link in the description below, and like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you again in the near future. All right, so until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.